When something is meant to grow, it often goes silent first. Pause. Let the weight of those words settle. You feel in your chest a strange emptiness, as if the world itself has paused to watch what is happening inside you. That silence is unsettling, yet it carries meaning deeper than any noise, any applause, or any recognition could ever hold. Most people panic in this moment. They see effort frozen in time, ideas left unseen, work that seems to vanish into thin air. Social media stops counting views. Notifications go quiet. The mind whispers, "You failed. You're being ignored. You are irrelevant." Anxiety rises. Doubt creeps in. The ego trembles for validation it will not receive. But Jung teaches us that the ego thrives on recognition, applause, and immediate reward. The soul, the deeper self, moves differently. Growth, transformation, individuation, shadow integration, all of it unfolds quietly beneath the surface, invisible to the impatient mind. Sometimes, what appears as stagnation, as emptiness, or as failure is the very soil in which the new self is being cultivated. Imagine a seed buried under dark soil. For days, weeks, maybe months, nothing appears. The world sees nothing. Rain falls. Sun shines. Roots twist and dig. Cells divide silently. Energy gathers and transforms invisibly. No one watches. Yet, beneath that quiet, profound growth occurs. That seed germinates into life, unseen, unheard, unstoppable. So, when views freeze, when effort seems wasted, when your voice goes unheard, it is not failure. It is preparation. It is the psyche reorganizing, gathering strength, waiting for the moment of emergence. This is the first truth you must learn in your Jungian journey. Silence is not absence. Silence is transformation in disguise. When silence descends, it is tempting to believe that nothing is happening. The ego panics. It measures worth by attention, by recognition, by immediate results. Yet Jung teaches us that the psyche operates on a different clock, a clock of integration, reorganization, and deep transformation. The mind fears emptiness, but the soul thrives in it. This pause, this quiet, is the soul's laboratory. Shadow elements rise to the surface, not to frighten you, but to reveal what has been hidden, neglected, or denied. The parts of yourself that you ignore, avoid, or suppress begin to speak in this silence. The ego recoils, uncomfortable with the absence of applause. Yet the shadow, the unacknowledged self, begins its work. Think of the seed beneath the soil once more. It does not demand sunlight yet, does not reveal its growth to the world. It stretches roots into the dark, unseen earth, pulling nourishment from spaces invisible to the eye. It strengthens, adapts, prepares. This is how your psyche operates in moments of silence. Transformation is occurring, even if it is invisible. Every pause, every moment when you feel unnoticed or stuck, is a stage of individuation. Your unconscious is arranging, organizing, and realigning itself. Integration is subtle, often imperceptible, but essential. To resist the silence is to resist the process. To panic is to interrupt the natural flow of psychic growth. So when the world stops paying attention, when your efforts seem invisible, understand this. The quiet is a sign, not a failure, but profound internal work. Jung would say, what is happening within you now cannot yet be seen without. Trust the process. Embrace the pause. Allow your inner self to move, transform, and emerge when the time is ready. Silence feels heavy because the ego is accustomed to applause. It thrives on recognition, validation, and immediate confirmation that it is seen, heard, and valued. When the world stops responding, when attention disappears, the mind reacts with tension, unease, and doubt. Am I failing? Is this meaningless? It asks. These questions are natural, but they come from the ego, not the soul. Jung reminds us that the psyche does not operate like the ego. Transformation, shadow integration, and individuation require patience. They unfold in hidden ways, beneath the surface, in the unseen corridors of your consciousness. The silence you fear is a space where the unconscious organizes itself, where fragments of your psyche, neglected or rejected, begin to reconcile, where the self learns to align with its own truth rather than the world's approval. Imagine standing at the edge of a foggy forest. You cannot see the path clearly. You feel unsure, hesitant. Yet every step you take in that silence, every breath you draw in the stillness, is progress. It is internal movement, invisible to the world but real within. The discomfort you feel, the frustration, the impatience, is evidence that change is occurring. The ego resists this pause. It craves speed, results, attention. But the soul understands that the deepest transformation requires stillness, observation, and patience. It is in this quiet tension that the shadow rises, truths emerge, and the psyche begins to integrate experiences that have been scattered, hidden, or ignored. So do not fear the silence. Do not rush. The frustration you feel is not a warning. It is a sign that something important is being restructured, that you are being prepared for emergence, and that transformation is quietly, invisibly, profoundly happening within you. When silence descends, it is easy to panic, to feel abandoned, or to assume that nothing is happening. The ego sees emptiness as failure, but the Jungian perspective asks you to step back, to observe, to trust the invisible work of your psyche. Silence is not absence. It is preparation. It is the internal soil where growth, shadow integration, and self-realignment occur. To approach this silence, begin by observing yourself without judgment. Notice your thoughts, emotions, and reactions. The ego will try to interrupt, to demand results, to crave validation. Acknowledge it, but do not succumb. Let the stillness teach you patience. Let the shadows reveal themselves without fear or resistance. Journaling, reflection, and mindful attention can transform silence into a fertile space for inner work. Record what arises from the depths of your mind. Watch your patterns, your hidden fears, your suppressed desires. These are not problems. They are signals from the unconscious, guiding you toward wholeness. The silence is a mirror. It reflects what the ego refuses to see. Trust in the pause. The psyche is always moving, even when the world perceives stagnation. Every unseen thought, every subtle shift in perception, every quiet realization is a step toward individuation. Growth often occurs in imperceptible increments. The more you embrace the quiet, the more profound the transformation becomes. So, when attention disappears and your efforts seem invisible, remember, this is the soul at work, arranging, reorganizing, and integrating. The silence is not punishment. It is invitation. Invitation to observe, to reflect, and to align with your deeper self. It is a space where the unseen work of transformation quietly unfolds, preparing you for emergence, strength, and a truer sense of self. The deepest transformation often comes not in a moment of action, but in moments of stillness. You may feel frustrated, unseen, unheard, but that tension is a sign that profound work is unfolding inside you. The ego fears emptiness. It craves validation, applause, the illusion of progress. The soul, however, knows the truth. Growth occurs quietly, in the hidden chambers of the psyche, away from the eyes of the world. Imagine standing at the edge of a forest, shrouded in fog. The path forward is unclear. You feel hesitation, perhaps fear. Yet each step taken in this silence, each pause and reflection, is movement, unseen but real. Every subtle shift in awareness, every thought observed without judgment, every shadow acknowledged, contributes to the architecture of your transformation. Jung often emphasized that the unconscious works silently, patiently, and with perfect timing. The frustrations you feel, the impatience, the doubt, the sense of being stuck, are not obstacles. They are signals. They are invitations from your deeper self to observe, reflect, and integrate what the ego has ignored or resisted. The quiet tension you feel is sacred. It is a soil in which the seeds of individuation, shadow integration, and self-alignment are planted. To resist, it is to resist growth. To rush, it is to interrupt the natural unfolding of your psyche. To embrace it is to honor your inner process. So, sit with the silence. Breathe into it. Let it stretch and reshape you. The discomfort you feel is not weakness. It is evidence of transformation, a proof that the unseen work of the soul is unfolding. In the depths of this stillness, you are becoming more whole, more real, more aligned. You are becoming the self that only emerges after silence has done its quiet work. The pause, the silence, the stillness, these are not signs that your efforts are wasted. They are invitations from your inner self to reflect, observe, and integrate in the shadows of the mind. In the quiet spaces where attention fades, the most profound transformations occur. This is the essence of Jungian psychology, the understanding that the deepest growth is invisible, slow, and often misunderstood by the ego. When the world does not respond, when recognition is absent, do not panic. Turn inward. Observe the thoughts and feelings that rise. Journaling, reflection, and mindful attention allow you to witness the subtle movements of your psyche. Notice the fears, the hidden desires, the aspects of self you have neglected or denied. These are not obstacles. They're the guide into the unconscious, pointing you toward integration and wholeness. Shadow work is rarely comfortable. It demands patience and courage. It asks you to face parts of yourself that the ego rejects. And yet, this confrontation is necessary. Without it, growth remains superficial, shallow, incomplete. By embracing the silence, by allowing the mind to sit with itself, you create the space for profound inner alignment. Trust that your psyche is working, even when it seems invisible. Every thought observed, every insight recorded, every shadow acknowledged is a step toward individuation. The pause is sacred. It is preparation. It is a groundwork for the emergence of a more integrated, authentic self. So when attention disappears and effort seems unnoticed, remember this. The silence is not absence. It is the work of transformation. It is the soul arranging, aligning, and integrating. Embrace it, reflect on it, and allow yourself to move forward with awareness, patience, and trust in the unseen, transformative process that is quietly unfolding within you. Not everything that stops is broken. Some things pause to become real. The stillness you feel, the silence that seems empty, is the crucible in which your inner self is reshaping, refining, and aligning. What appears as stagnation is actually the unseen movement of transformation, the quiet work of individuation unfolding beneath the surface of awareness. The ego fears this pause because it thrives on visibility, on applause, on measurable results. It mistakes stillness for failure. But the soul, the deeper self, understands the necessity of the pause. It knows that the roots of growth must penetrate darkness before reaching light. It knows that shadows must rise before integration is possible. And it knows that silence is a language in which the psyche speaks to itself, revealing truths that the ego cannot yet comprehend. Imagine standing at the threshold of a dimly lit forest, fog swirling around you, the path ahead unclear. You hesitate. The mind urges retreat. Yet with each breath, each deliberate step, each observation of your own inner landscape, you move forward. Every unseen shift, every subtle realization, every acknowledgement of your shadow carries you closer to wholeness. This is the essence of the Jungian journey. To embrace silence, to trust the invisible work of your psyche, to observe, reflect, and integrate. To understand that patience, introspection, and presence are the tools by which the soul arranges itself into alignment. So when the world seems still, when your efforts feel unseen, when doubt rises, pause, reflect, trust. The unseen work is the deepest work. The silence is the most profound teacher. And when it is finished, you will emerge, not hurried, not incomplete, but whole, real, and profoundly alive.